Hi, this is Scott with eTrailer, and today we're going to be going over and installing our Tekonsha 4-pole wiring for our 2024 Kia Forte. This is going to be our 4-pole wiring that we have hooked up on our Kia. This is going to give you all the necessary signals that you need to run maybe a small trailer or other accessories that have lights. It's going to give you your brake lights, your tail lights, your left and right turn signals. With this kit, installation can be pretty tricky. It is pretty involved. You're going to be getting your hands in small places. If I was to do it again, I would probably just go ahead and pull off the rear fascia, or at least try and maybe break the fascia loose on the sides to get a little more access to the plug-ins in there. It's a really tight space getting up in there to try and get the plugs. Other than that, it's not really too bad. It's pretty straightforward. If it's something you might want to think about having somebody do for you, we do have a dealer locator. That's a good option you can check out. But if you do want to get it done and you think about doing it yourself, stick around and we'll show you how to do it. To start our installation, we're just going to get our trunk up here. And we went ahead and removed our lower area of our trunk. Now we just got to pull out our foam piece here. That's just a little storage thing. We need to get it out of the way. We need to get this threshold here out of the way because we're going to need to run wire behind that. So we have a fastener down here. It's a little plastic push clip, and we have one on the other side. Okay, now with this here, you may want to get a screwdriver behind it just to get it started. They do sit pretty flat. And once you get it started, then you can get behind it with a clip tool here. And just get that work behind it and down. And you should be able to pop that out. Okay, and you'll have one on both sides. Now that we have our clips out, we're just going to pull it up a little bit here and kind of pull straight up and over our latch here and then off with that. Now we need to move our felt here on the driver's side out of the way. So we're just going to pop these two clips out, carefully remove those. And that's going to help us get our felt out of the way so we can get at our wiring on the driver's side. Now we'll just move the felt out of the way and expose our wiring. What you're going to want to do is we're going to have to plug in our tail light connectors here, and we'll follow our wires out of our box here. We will take our red and brown. We will run up here, and this is where it's going to be where we connect with our tail lights. We're just going to push in on this little clip and pull those apart. Now what we're going to want to do is take our brown and red wire assembly here, and we're going to go up in through behind this wire here so we can make it a clean install. And what we'll do is we'll just plug in our end here here, and this will be for our tail lights. All right, with our box put in place, we got some heavy-duty double stick tape. We put that on there. We got our ground in place, and we have our power wire run. With our ground wire, we just ran it in with a self-tapper down here in a double layer of steel, and we got that in place. And we did use heat shrink on our power wire over there when we did connect those together. So that's nice and dry and won't have any issues with that. And we did leave that a little long and zip tie it there. So the reason doing that, if they ever need to repair any of the hot wire there, they'll just have to unloop it and they'll have wire to use. And we did run our power wire through the grommet there. So that's was a nice access point and got us to the box real easy that way. Okay, so we ran our 4-pole wire down through our grommet here, but what we did is we had to make a little slit in it here, and we managed to run our right and left side connections for our turn signals down through here, and then ran them to their respective places. Now the tricky part of this install is the wires that run up in through that little area there. That is probably the hardest part of the entire install, is just getting your hand in there to get those wires to click. That is the driver's side there, and that will be the yellow wire that you run up there, and you will unhook from the back of the housing and plug in your wire from the kit, and then plug in the wire to the wire that went to the housing previously. And it will be the same process on the passenger side, but it will be the green wire that you run up through there and make your connections. You just want to make sure that you hear a real good audible click when you connect all of your connections. For our power wire, we ran through our grommet here, and we ran it up and over. We went up, and you want to keep it away from any moving parts, springs, axles, tires, exhaust, hot things, anything like that. So we followed a factory line here, brake line, followed it down through, and just ran it across by our gas tank. Then we came up through here, and we have our fuel vapor lines. We ran up through here, and we ran all the way up, zip tying to those, and then came out up here where we have this shielding, and from there we ran up and we run it clear up under our hood here, and that's where we're going to run it up and make a connection with our battery. All right, so we pulled the wire up and we ended up hooking it up to our battery here on our positive terminal. And what we did is we locked it on down here with our heat shrink and ran it up here with our fuse connector and joined everything together here. And that gave us power, and it allows us to test it and make sure everything works. And to get that on there, you just have your ring terminal here, and you get everything connected, and you undo your nut, and you put your ring terminal down and run your nut down. And you are going to want to wait to put your fuse in until you are completely done with that process. And now we'll do a test to make sure everything works. We're going to hit our ignition on here, just turn it on accessory, and do our passenger side turn signal and driver side turn signal, brakes, left turn with brakes, right turn with brakes, and our lights on. Now that we've tested it and everything works, now you can just put everything back together in reverse order, and you're done with your installation of your wiring.